Following deadly suicide bombings in Russia's southern city of Volgograd late last year, Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered tens of thousands of extra police to help secure the Olympic Games in Sochi. Moscow also said it planned to use drones, space monitoring, anti-aircraft batteries, and the Navy to secure the Games. And as Anya Ardayeva reports, less than a week before the Games begin, it's clear that the authorities in Sochi are taking security very seriously.
On the surface, the area around the Olympic Park in Sochi looks calm and peaceful. But a closer look reveals heavy security all around the area. More than 40,000 police and soldiers were brought here to guard the Olympics, and their visible and invisible presence is everywhere. Sochi was put on high alert in early January, 1 month before the opening of the Games, following 3 suicide bombings in the city of Volgograd last year. A militant group from Dagestan claimed responsibility for the bombings, which killed 34 people and threatened to strike the Olympic Games. Dagestan is just a few hundred kilometers away from Sochi. Timothy Stanley is the managing director of the Global Risks Consultancy Group.
From what we've seen so far, the Russian authorities are doing absolutely everything in their power to try and make sure that any threat to Sochi Olympic Games is minimized. They're doing exactly what anybody in Europe, anybody in North America, anybody in Asia would do faced with a similar threat. Does that mean they are able to completely eliminate the threat? No, of course it doesn't.
The sophisticated high-tech gear that Russia deployed to provide security at the Games includes air defense missiles, high-speed patrol boats and drones, capable of defending the city from air and sea attacks. However, the most likely threat, observers say, are suicide bombers with primitive explosives, and they're much more difficult to track down. Following the attacks on Volgograd, police in Sochi issued a warning about several potential suicide bombers, including a 22-year-old widow of an Islamic militant, who police said was at large in the city. The country's officials, however, ensured that nothing could happen to over 5,500 athletes and some 25,000 volunteers during the Games.
In the planning for Olympic security, we looked at all potential threats and the existing forces present today in the region around the Olympics. We are prepared to react to any threats to safety and will not allow any hostile act against participants or guests of the Olympic Games. Definitely, not only our information, but the information of our partners shows that at the current time, a real threat to the Games does not exist.
With all the heavy security measures now in place in the area, one official said Sochi was now the safest place on the planet. However, observers warn that with all the attention now focused on the security of the Olympic Games, terrorists could strike elsewhere, not necessarily in Sochi. Anya Ardayeva, CCTV, Sochi.